Hey there, Chadi Bazzi here, and welcome to another episode of the Top Listing Agent Show. This is going to be a different kind of podcast that you're used to me listening to. What I actually done, and I've done this for the first time ever, is I recently did a training inside of Listings on Demand. So you're really going to get a perspective of exactly what happens inside of Listings on Demand training. And I had about a 45-minute conversation with one of the newer members there who specifically came into the program because he wanted to learn how to generate leads. And sure enough, when you join the program, you get to choose based on your marketplace and your skill set and your experience, what is the best method for you to go out there and take listings immediately. Sure enough, his preference, his choice was for sale by owners. And one of the things that I've noticed with a lot of people out there is that everybody in every marketplace knows that with for sale by owners, you can generate new business. However, most people are either afraid to call them or don't know what to say to them, don't know how to follow up with them, don't have a listing presentation, and they have about a million excuses as to why they should not call them. So I'd say about 99% of the people, they never ever take that action. And you may know exactly what it is that I'm speaking about. So I said to myself, the first thing I got to do is I got to get Brian into action. So obviously we have a process for that. We went through the process, didn't take that much time, got the guy on the phone. And that's the first step, is to get on the phones and start having conversations. And then after you have the conversations, you need to learn how to have better conversations, how to set appointments, how to go on preview appointments, how to convert preview appointments into listing appointments, and how to convert listing appointments into signed contracts. And for the people that you call that don't result in an appointment immediately, why did they not result in an appointment? What can you do differently the next time to increase your odds of converting people into an appointment? And the people that, the people that actually do end up becoming a lead, how do I follow up with the lead? How do I create more value, etc.? Look, I got a huge list because I just went back and listened to the conversation. Some of the things that we talked about that I definitely want you to get is, number one is, how did we get into action? Number two, we talked about, now that you're in action, how to stay in consistent action. We talked about, what happened to the people that you didn't set an appointment with. How can we go back and have more conversations with these people, and how can we get them to set an appointment? How to make yourself different than the other agents who are calling on the for sale by owners, how to do follow-up, how to create more value, the importance of creating what's called a win-win-win sheet. And that right there is definitely going to help a lot of people here create a lot of breakthroughs. We gave them advice on how to stay consistent. And then why is it so critical to document the journey? His numbers, once we got him in action, 21 appointments and 3 appointments set. Not too bad. That's 1 appointment for every 7 people he spoke to. I entered his mind to see we talked about objections, how to eliminate objections. I even put him on the spot and said, how do you handle that objection? And we worked through how to handle it better the second time around. And then how to identify the most common objections and crush them immediately. So guys, this was a 45 to 50-minute conversation. And for anyone that's thinking about working for sale by owners, or anyone that's already working for sale by owners and wants to get more results from working for sale by owners, this is a training that you definitely want to listen to more than one time. And I know that at the end of this training, some of you guys are going to be like, hey, Chadi, how can I master this? How can I reach out to you and have a conversation with you one-on-one specifically so we can help you take your business to the next level? So at the end of this training, I will give you the link on where to go so you and I can have a better one-on-one conversation. Enjoy. It's just you and I right now.
Alrighty.
Catch me up to speed.
Mano.
Yeah. So catch me up to speed. What's going on? What did you do in the last 1 week?
Okay, so in the last week, I, based off of what you gave me from last week's training, I got to my notebook. I started daily writing down the FSBO script. I've also been working on writing the listing presentation out as well at the same time. And then I've got 3 days of calling. I made over
43 calls made, 15 contacts made, 2 preview appointments.
Yeah, and then I've got another, let's see, today I made another 5, 10, 15, 20, 23 calls and 6 contacts. Limited success today. I had a little more banging my head against the wall. But most of these were like new, fresh FSBO. So I feel like I get better, responses from the people when they're on 30, 45, 60 days, where they're starting to maybe get a little discouraged with the process, But I still follow the script, ask questions, develop rapport. Oh, you're retired, you're selling the house and moving to Tennessee or whatever. Hey, would this be a problem? If I can get this sold in 30 days so you can move to Tennessee and net you the amount of money you want to net, regardless of any commissions. And, a couple of them have been pretty firm on they're going to do it solo. So, but I'm tagging them, I'm watching them, and I'm going to just keep following up on them.
Okay, good.
They may not be ready now, but maybe in a couple of weeks or a month or 6 weeks, they'll be ready.
So Brian, the most important thing is, you've already started. Okay, that's the most important thing. Now, the second thing is going to be a couple of things to look for. One is going to be how consistent you are going to remain. Okay, now I know for you, your shifts are, I don't know, sometimes 24 on, 24 off, whatever kind of,
right.
Schedule you have, etc. Besides that, I'm talking about the days that you could work, okay, in real estate. The key is to remain consistent,
okay.
Because when you get away from it for even just a day, you slip backwards. Okay, I'm not talking about the day that you get away because you have your other job. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the day psychologically where you could have done it and you didn't do it.
Right.
The second thing is documenting the journey is critical. Like you already went on a couple of preview appointments, okay, which I'm back and talk to you about that because I want to turn those preview appointments into actual appointments and listings later on.
Okay.
And you've had over 15 conversations of which some people are very adamant about doing it on their own, and then some people you need to follow up with, and some people are just a flat out no. Okay, because that's like the lessons that are appearing that you need to be learning. Okay. So let's keep on talking about what's happening over the phone before we talk about what's happening at the preview appointment. Then we talk about what happens during the listing appointment.
Okay.
Well, from 15 contacts, if I'm writing this down because I'm visual, 15 contacts equals 2 preview appointments, right?
Yeah, I've got, well, in the note sheet, I was putting that I'd already gone on 2 preview appointments. Yeah. Out of these, I've got, actually, I went on one yesterday that I didn't write on there that I forgot, but I've got one that I had.
Watch this.
Yes.
Give me all your updated numbers as of like this morning. How many actual conversations?
This week is 21 with the calls from this morning.
Okay, so 21, including the 15 from last week?
Yes.
Okay, so there we go. 21 contacts. How many preview appointments set?
3.
Okay, and 2 attended so far, right?
I've actually gone on 3 as of yesterday afternoon.
So 3 set and 3 attended.
Correct.
Okay. So now there were 18 other people. So 18 other people either equaled a no or they equaled a lead.
Correct.
Do you see where I'm going? Like, we need to know this stuff. So how many of the other 18 are flat out no? Like you're not going to follow up with them no matter what?
I would say at least 5 or 6 of them. There were a few that were, like we just discussed, were brand new. I've already sold 8 houses in my life. I've never used an agent. I don't plan on it. And digging in the questions, determining motivation. Oh, I'm selling and I'm going to move into my father's house to see if the market crashes in 2 years. So there was no big drive on that one. But yeah, I would say maybe 5 or 6 of them are just, or they have a contract but haven't updated the status.
So 6 are no, and we still got 12 possibilities.
Correct.
Okay. So if I say to you this, you don't have to answer, you don't have to handle the objection. I just want to like follow your train of thought and how you're thinking.
Okay.
If I say to you, you know what, Brian, I've sold 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 houses before. I don't think I need the help of a realtor. And but thank you very much for the call. What's your thinking about that?
When he hit me with that, I mean, there was almost validation, like, oh crap, he sold 8 houses on his own, never used an agent. And that was the same guy that said, well, I'm selling because I'm moving in with my dad, looking for the market to crash. So with that, I just didn't, and also 2-3 days on Zillow. So when I connected all those dots, to me, that equaled not a high amount of motivation.
Okay.
I didn't take him off of the rock. I'm still going to watch him and stalk him. And when, 30 days hits or whatever, check back in. Hey, you sure I can't help you out? Take care of your problem for you. But at that moment, it just didn't seem like the motivation added up when I connected the dots.
Yeah. Okay. The reason I bring that up is because last year, towards the end of last year, I actually did a little bit of prospecting for my ex-wife to help her out because I knew I was moving on, so I can help her with her business. And I made 5 for sale by owner calls that morning. And one of the people said, hey, we've sold 2 houses before on our own. We know what we're doing. We're turning this into a family event. We just created 20 open house signs, me and the children, whatever. And, we're only going to let people come in that are pre-approved only. They got to have a pre-approved letter. I mean, the whole entire song and dance of we've done it before, we can do it again. We're self-employed. We got a lot of time. We can show the property. We're accessible. We understand the loan process. You name it. Okay?
Right.
Anyways, to make a long story short, I set the appointment. Okay? They were asking $808,000. I went there, and within 45 minutes, okay, I took the listing from my ex-wife at $700,000 and 6% commission. Okay, in less than 30 days, we sold it at $689,000 and generated another $600,000 listing from it. Okay, so basically, the reason I'm having this conversation with you right now is because I don't want you to buy into any objections. Okay. Like seriously, we don't want to buy into any objections, because if I would have bought into their objection, oh my God, like this is not like a real for sale by owner. This is somebody that knows what they're doing. They have like 20, 30 pictures on Zillow. They had nice pictures too. Right. They made the signs. It's a family experience for them. They've done it before. The market is good. They're in a very good area where excellent education system and all the Chinese people buy their cash. And, if I would have bought into all of that, I would have never got my foot in the door. Okay. So we don't want to buy into any objections. We know what they're going to say. Now, it may be true that they did sell a house before. It may be true. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, you've sold a house before as a real estate agent. Right. Every sale is different. Right. In some marketplaces, it's seasonal. Every season is different. Okay. And then, the economic times we're in right now may be different than the economic times they were in when they sold that one last property. Mm-hmm. Okay. But we don't buy into anything. What we need to do is we need to continuously just zero in on, how do I create that connection with this person no matter what? I want that person to see me as no threat. I want that person to see me as an ally. Okay. I want that person to give me the opportunity to go through the journey with them. Okay. That's what I want. I want to know everything.
Sorry.
Oh, you got to go put out a fire?
No. That was my phone. I'm sorry.
Even your phone is a fire truck, right?
Yeah. The first rule of being a fireman is tell everybody you're a fireman. That's what my cop neighbor teases me about.
All right. Okay. All right. I like that. Okay. So Brian, we don't buy into any objections. Mm-hmm. Okay, they may be true, they may be real, they may be valid. However, if you really keep track of the numbers, I think you'd really totally understand this when you're about 500 to 1,000 contacts into this. You will never believe anything anybody ever says again.
Gotcha.
Lori, would you agree with that or no?
Definitely.
In the beginning, you don't know what you don't know. And, so I'd say eventually about 10% of what they say is valid. 90% is just a mask. It's just something that they invent to keep you away from them. Not, because that's how people are. You got to get that people are walking around nowadays. Lori, let's see if you could, I've never said it the way I'm going to say it right now. Let's see if you can relate to this and accept this as truth. Okay, most people are walking around protecting themselves from no one who is attacking.
Wow. Say that again in case this video gets corrupted. Most people are walking around
protecting themselves from no one who is attacking. There's nobody attacking you for anything. But, society has led us to believe that everybody's out there to get you, including the government, including the school system, including Uncle Sam, including everybody. So everybody's trying to protect themselves all day, every single day.
Right.
And what we need to do is we need to break through that barrier. And when we break through that barrier, we actually make a new friend.
Right.
A lot of your clients are going to become your friends. Would you agree with that too, Lori?
Yes.
Some of your best friends may be a for sale.
Too much about best friends, but yeah.
Some for sale by owners right now who are jerks may become your best friends later on.
That's right. Yep. And they'll refer you. But I got to tell you a story. I had a for sale by owner. This was years ago that I put an exclusion. I wrote, okay, if Joe Schmo comes around, then he's excluded from the listing agreement. I kicked myself for that afterwards because they said Joe Schmo did come around. I had to cancel the listing agreement. 2 years later, I got a call. Lori, can you sell my mother's house? Right? I did all that work for them on that other house, and Joe Schmo came along and bought it, but I got a referral. Now I get referrals from them all the time, by the way. And I'm a friend of hers. She had some health things go on, and I went and saw her. I brought her something. I sat down, had a coffee with her. Just not too long ago, actually. That was 5 or 6 years ago. But you just never know ever what something's gonna, and I have to talk to myself too about this because we all get into that little fear thing. And it's stupid because I've already proved it to myself that, you can get so much more business just by going out and helping people. Right.
Yeah. Right. And he's already in action. Okay. So listen, thank you, Lori. So we got 12 people that we're still going to make calls to.
Right. To continue to keep an eye on, follow up on.
Okay. So one of the things I would not do is get in the habit of keeping an eye on, because that could eventually become time consuming, and it's another way, for creative avoidance. If you just pick up the phone and call them, they're going to tell you what you most likely would have never seen by trying to keep an eye on them online, whatever.
Yeah, I don't mean I'm just going to watch. I'm still going to, I may not dial those people that I had that conversation with every single day, but a week or bi-weekly, and I'm not going to just sit there and watch it. I'm still going to continue to call them.
So how do you we're going to talk about keeping track of those people as well too, and when to call them and how to call them and all that stuff, and what to mail them, if to mail them anything, and what to send them and all that stuff. I'm going to walk you through all.
Okay.
I'm going in the order right now. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. So now the 12 people that are said no. Okay. Did you keep track of what are the main 1 or 2 or 3 things that keep them at a no for at least right now?
I wrote down a line or two on everybody I spoke with, and one guy told me he only hires people to do things that he can't do himself, and he can sell his house. And that was, he said, no matter what, whether I can get him more money or sell it in a week, I'm not getting his business regardless.
Okay,
So I wrote that guy off. He was a jerk.
Okay, good. So look, the jerks and the people you don't like, you don't want to work with them. You don't have to work with them. But I do want to open up your mind to certain things that you may not be aware of. The biggest jerks on the first conversation you have with them are usually the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Okay.
Lori, did you ever experience that or no?
Yes.
So
They
remember,
are rough and tough and rough and yeah. And then if you can get in front of them, they're different people sometimes.
game over. Okay. Now, remember what we talked about earlier? Like everybody's protecting themselves. Those
Right.
people are like literally are the nicest people, and they are the people that have lived a life to where people take advantage of them because they're very nice. So whenever somebody new appears in front of them, like they become a bulldog because they're really protecting themselves. Okay. So, and it's nothing I say is true 100% of the time. Okay. If somebody is a total jerk and you don't want to work with them, don't. That's fine. Okay. But just be open to, the harder it is for me to get the appointment with them, the easier it is for me to get the contract signed. Gotcha. Okay.
You're overcoming lots of objections ahead of time, trying to get in front of them.
Yeah. So that's that. What's another scenario that showed up?
I mean, it's just a lot of the repeat is just, hey, we'll pay a buyer's agent. We want to sell it ourselves.
Okay, so that's so basically that the biggest repeat you're gonna get is, yeah, bro, we're cooperating. Bring a buyer. We'll give you 2.5%, 3%, whatever. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So now we're faced with, see, what I'm trying to do here is I want you to do all the hard work. That's what I want you to do.
Right.
Okay. Like I want you to get this so you could never ever have to think about it for the rest of your life. So we're gonna go back to the scenario of like the first guy, the jerk. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now, here's what a strategist does. A strategist would have like wrote down what you wrote down. You made a note of it, but a strategist will sit down with a cup of coffee or something later on and be like, okay, pen and paper. I get that I may never ever get the opportunity to meet this guy in person, but what could I have said differently? What could I have done differently? What did I do that may have triggered them to act the way that he did that I should not do again? Like, do you see what we're doing?
Right.
Like, we're dissecting it, and we already know that this is something that's going to come up again. And we're preparing ourselves for it next time around. But this time you're preparing yourself differently because you're actually forcing yourself to think, therefore you own it. It will come out more natural. It will come out more clever and quicker in the future. So I want you to turn that into a habit of, at least for the next 30 days of making these calls. Okay. And a lot of times, once you begin this, you'll be thinking the same exact way later on. But then again, what you're doing is you're conditioning yourself to remember it for next time around, because obviously you didn't remember it the first time around.
Right.
Or the time around. So that's what, part of the thing that I want you to do. Okay. So that's trying to get more appointments is obviously you got to get very good and very creative in trying to handle the objections. And you're good on time. I want to spend time with you because I don't see you all the time. You're good on time right now, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to keep going. So because the biggest obstacle or the biggest objection is bring me a buyer, I'll pay you 2%, 3%, et cetera. We got to get very good at overcoming that. Okay. Mm-hmm. And we got to learn how to say what we want to say in more than one way, because one way doesn't work in every single person. So I'm just curious to find out exactly where you're at right now in this journey. Like, how are you handling that right now without looking at any of your notes?
Okay. So that comes in when I introduce myself and then, I'm an agent with Keller Williams. I sell real estate locally, and I was calling today to offer you my services and to see if there's anything I can do at all to help you get this home sold. And then probably 8 or 9 times out of 10, it's, you can bring me a buyer. And then I segue into, oh, okay, I hear that a lot. Are you cooperating with buyer's agents if they're bringing you a fully qualified buyer? And then again, more often than not, yes, we're going to pay 2% or 2, 3, whatever it is. And I go through the rest of the script, and then I go to the close, which is the, if there was a way that I can get your property sold.
So let's pause right here, okay? I am going to be the for sale by owner, okay?
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, it doesn't matter where it shows up in the script. Hey, Brian, all the information is online. If you have a buyer, bring them over, and if they're interested in buying a home and we accept their offer, we'll give you 2.5%.
Okay. So that's very generous of you. I appreciate that. I'm going to make a note of that here. While we're on that subject, if there was a way that I could bring you, if there was a way that I can get this home sold for you in the next 30, 45 days, whatever time frame works best for you, and also allow you to put the most amount of money in your pocket at the end of the transaction, would that be a problem for you?
No.
And then, okay. So when would be a good time for me to come over and talk to you about what I can do to get your home sold?
All right, come over.
Okay, fantastic. Would today at 4 work or tomorrow at 3?
Sure, today at 4 is good.
Okay. Fantastic.
All right, so that may only work in the scenario of like where you've already got me to speak about why I want to sell the home and talk about my motivation, etc.
Right.
If that hasn't already been opened up, it's just going to be another line.
Right. I do try to follow the order because it allows you to develop the rapport before you strike and try to get the appointment, unless they open I usually just I say, okay, I'm going to write that down and make a note of that you're going to cooperate with an agent. And then I say, oh, I'm looking at your pictures on Zillow right now. The house looks great. Why are you selling? And then they say this or that. And then while we're in there, I work in that if they're going to be local, if they have an agent they're working with, to try to segue that little piece in there. But I never hang up unless I've had only 1 or 2 people so far, forcibly hang up. But I never hang up without trying to go in and say, hey, if I can get your home sold, get you to Tennessee. I used that today. They said they're retiring, selling their house, and moving to Tennessee. Hey, if I can get you to Tennessee sooner rather than later and net you the amount of money you want to net after everything's said and done, would that create a problem? And it's like a catch-22. Most people chuckle. They're like, that's a loaded question. How can I, of course it's not a problem. And I say, okay, great. When can I come talk to you about what I do and how I can get your home sold? But then they say, oh, we're really adamant on trying to do it ourselves or this or that. And, I'm like, well, you already told me you're going to pay 2 or 3%. You're halfway there, and I can take care of the process for you so much easier than what you're going to deal with on your own. A handful of people said they've gotten offers, the deals have fell through, no call, financing and stuff. So people are experiencing some heartache because they're not putting the right thresholds or barriers in place before, they accept an offer.
Yeah. So look, Brian, the bottom line is everybody's got a story, everybody's got a song, and everybody's got to dance. And, it's just like dancing, sometimes, we just got to like feel them and go with them, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So what's showing up from our conversation so far is one, we got to get better you got to get more comfortable on the phones. Okay. So, having the script, memorized and having, the objections like right there in front of you and then memorize is going to help you out a lot. And then, sitting after your prospecting session and like literally dissecting what happened and what should have happened is definitely going to help you out a lot as well too. Okay. And now we get to talk about three more different things. One, okay, is if they become a preview appointment, obviously you go under the preview of the property. And you've done 3 of those previews. Okay.
Correct.
Anything positive come out of doing the previews?
One was almost kind of foolish to go on it's an absentee owner. He lives a couple hours away. He's got a lockbox on it. And I talked with him a little bit further about the property, trying to develop rapport. And I said, well, hey, I'd still like to go see the property. You know, it seems like it's going to be difficult for you to try to do this remotely from hours away. I think it would be better. I think that the property, you know, is a very desired property in the market and in the area that it's at. And that if you just had an ally here locally working with you and for you to get this home sold, that we can get it sold quickly and for the most amount of money possible. I said, you know, so would you mind if I go take a look at it and then we can talk tomorrow about the process? And so then I had a follow-up call with him, gave him some feedback. He's like, okay, let me kick it around for a day or two. So I'm going to call him back this afternoon and try to get, and I don't know how it's going to go because he's there, I'm here, we're not having video conference, but I'm going to try to get the listing just through phone calls and a little bit of rapport I built. So that was okay. And he's another one that said, hey, I've sold a couple houses in my life. I haven't used a realtor. But to me, it just seems unique. He's out of the area and the place had tenants in it. It needs a little TLC. And I'm offering as a value add, hey, I got an AC guy, I can have come over and take care of this, pressure clean this, make it look better. You know, trying to come from contribution, you know, I'll help coordinate that for you. The first one I went on was I didn't pre-qualify enough. They're retired. They already have property somewhere else, and when this house sells, they're gonna build a house or whatever. But you know, there's no rush. The husband's got at least 6 months till he retires, and you know, she doesn't care how long it takes to sell. So the time frame motivation, at least right now, isn't there. But I did go do the preview. I spent some time and talked with her, and that was my first belly-to-belly experience in that arena. And then I emailed her the little FSBO guide that I put together, you know, reminding her if anything comes up, don't hesitate to call, that type of thing. And then yesterday I had a property preview just around the corner from my house, and been on Zillow 10 days, holding an open house this weekend, did a preview. We ended up having some nice rapport. He recognized me. We went to school together, and you know, he's like, oh, you're local. That's great. You know, the area, this and that. I told him, you know, hey, you know, house is great. I think you're going to do good. I'll check back in with you next week, see how it goes. You know, how'd you come up with the price again? Oh, I picked this, but I added money in case I need to pay commission. So, you know, it went well. But I wasn't able to like convert them right then. So maybe more of like a 2-appointment close process. But that was a mistake I made that first day. I made the calls and had like 13 contacts before you kind of set me straight. Hey man, any contact is good, but go for the kill, man. And that's where I screwed up that first day. I talked to 13 people and was, oh, hey, can I come by and see the property instead of let me get it sold for you? So I'm really sticking with the script on that, and then following back on, you know, can I come see the property type thing.
Yeah, well, most important thing is that, you know, you are in action right now, and look at you. Now we can have conversations about, you know, real life scenarios versus like, you know, what may take place, which may never take place, etc.
Right.
And that's how we're learning. Okay, first guy, the 2 hour away guy, I would definitely be following up with this guy a lot. Okay. And because that's most likely going to be the first person that is going to throw in the towel because of the and, you know, the frustration that might come around with that. Mm-hmm. So you can definitely do everything electronically anyways.
Right.
So people following up with that person, the elderly couple, and then the guy that you went to school with, same scenario. You've already done the preview appointments. So while you were on the preview appointments, did you identify anything that you feel like could become part of your follow-up with them, to follow up with them?
Well, Well, I mean, like the guy from yesterday, I'm going to just follow up today. Thanks for taking the time to show me the property. I wanted to send you my for sale by owner, informational guide, just to keep in contact with them. But not exactly. I don't know. Can you expand on that question a little bit?
For example, when we go out and do a preview appointment, obviously while we're there, we want to try to set a listing appointment. If we set up a listing appointment, we would have already conversated enough with the people to find out what their journey is going to be like. And then how can I follow up to at least check in on what's happening with them based on whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish outside of just selling the home and or through selling the home and speak to them about that. For example, we'll use the guy that's you went to school with. Okay. So did anything show up? It doesn't matter. So how would I follow up with that person? Well, first of all, I'd be taking a look at a couple of different things. Number one, does he got good photos?
Probably iPhone photos, not professional photography.
Okay, not professional photography. Okay. Do you have a photographer that that can take pictures?
Yes.
Not inexpensively, like maybe we'll go out there and do you favors for about $50 a run or no?
Probably like $100.
Okay. So figure out how many hundreds you can put on the side for something like that. Because I'll tell you, if you're spending money on online leads, it's going to cost you a lot more than $100 to generate a good lead that's going to turn into a closing. And then I would definitely, for example, if I identified, and I wouldn't do this for every single person. Okay. Right. If I felt good during the preview appointment and she goes, look, ask the photographer to bill you a closing. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can do that, and if it doesn't close, then if it doesn't close within 45 days, then the bill becomes due. Okay, you can always do something like that. So if I feel like this person needs better photography, I'll just say, you know what, I'm again, thank you very much. I really want to prove to you that I am all about the community, and I really want to help out every single person in my community, and I just want to be transparent with you. I think you could do a better job on the photographs because most people are going to find your property online. So, just as a gesture and as a gift, if you don't mind, I'd like to send my professional photographer to come out here and photograph the property for you at my expense. You don't have to worry about paying it or anything like that. And would you allow me to do that for you? I mean, what do you think they're going to say?
99% of the time, they're going to say, of course.
Okay, so watch and see what we do from there. Look, there's a lot of other stuff we can do, but I'm just trying to get you to open up your mind. Right. Okay. So now we get the photos. Once we get the photos, what does that do? Does that give you another contact with it for sale by owner?
Yes.
Bingo.
Another reason to call them.
Okay. Now, once we got the photos, what else can we do? Can we create a property flyer?
Yeah.
Can we print out 25 flyers for $5 and give it to them?
Yes.
Another contact, right?
Correct.
Okay. Watch this. Can we create a single property website for them using those photos?
I suppose I am not very computer savvy, so I'm going to just believe you if you tell me yes.
$5. $5. Okay. So now watch and see what happens. If they have a single property website, where do you think they're going to send people to?
To the website.
And whose contact information is on there?
Mine.
Okay. But see, what's happening here, first of all, it appears that we're doing a lot of things, but I guarantee you, if you crunch the time and you add the minutes, it's probably going to be like 1 man hour throughout the journey. Okay. And a lot of people don't want to put in the time. But see, there's something else that's happening here that a lot of people don't think about. Okay. You're activating two different laws. There's so there's the law of contribution. Okay. What are you doing? You're contributing. Okay. Mm-hmm. But you're also activating the law of obligation.
Okay.
Okay. So you've done so much for them. They feel like if they were to ever do anything, it has to be through you, or else they're going to be guilty unless they don't have a conscience.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So Brian, these are the little things. Okay, look, we've been talking about this for about like 30 minutes on the same topic because it's that important.
Right.
These are all little things that make a big difference. Okay. And in your marketplace, if you play this game correctly with as many for sale by owners as you have in your marketplace, like there's no reason why you should not be listing a minimum of 2 homes a month. Like that should be a minimum standard for you. Okay. And then 3 properties a month. And then, I mean, you could operate a whole entire business just working for sale by owners and make it healthy income. But these are all the things that you have to incorporate, little here, little there, and eventually it's different things for different people. Okay. What about doing an open house for sale by owner?
Yeah, I did want to talk to my broker about how that would work. I guess as long as you've pre-qualified them and you know at least if you're holding the open and you acquire a buyer for them. I mean, would you want to do it entirely if they were like, I'm not cooperating with agents at all, but yeah, come hold an open?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
You could ask them. It wouldn't hurt to ask them for like a 1 or 2 day listing.
Yeah, you could do a one day listing, and it doesn't matter what the commission is for that one day. Okay. The thing is, the way I look at it too is I am going to, number one, I get to use that property as, promotional material, Facebook, Instagram, pictures, and I would also use that to create brand awareness in the market, through my signage and all that stuff.
Right.
Number 4 is the other for sale by owners that may be driving around and they'll see that, other for sale by owners have chosen you, social proof. And then, any buyers that may come into that property are also potential buyers that you could be working with. And one other thing I could say about that is that a lot of the buyers that may walk into your open house will also be people that need to sell their current home.
Right. Little double end open house client.
Okay. So what are the odds of a buyer actually walking in and saying, I want to buy the property that you're holding open? Slim.
Right.
Okay. What we're doing is we're planting seeds and we're working a system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's nothing to lose on my end. A little bit of time to go out there, but it's a show of good faith. So if they do convert, then that was a slam dunk. Okay, yeah, I got to talk to my broker and find out what the rules are on that. But I have thought about that because there's some houses that are. I don't do a geographical farm, but they're in my neighborhood or across the street that I feel like I want it to be my territory, at least do business in the area where, if I can do like you're saying and get some of that brand awareness and things like that, it would be good.
For sure. So these are some of the things that, we could be doing and should be doing. So look, now we said 21 contacts, 3 preview appointments, 3 attended. We have somebody that's, 2 hours away. We have an elderly couple, and we have someone that's, right down the street. The way I look at it is from these 3, okay, you have to list at least 1.
Right.
Okay. Because, what we've already done is we've already opened up a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So now what we got to do is we got to continue to develop the relationship. So I want you to follow up with all 3. Okay. And then how often, now the question is, how often should you follow up?
That's the question. I don't know.
That depends on the individual. You got to get very good at like reading people. Mm-hmm. Like the guy that's like right down the guy that went to your school. I mean, I'd want to turn that guy into my buddy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. When did you go see him? A couple of days ago?
I went and saw him yesterday afternoon, 3:00.
Okay. Have you sent him a thank you message yet for allowing you to go into his home?
That's going to be after the call today. I did my phone calls and stuff this morning and then got on the call.
So here's what I would do. I wouldn't even just send them a text message. I'd send them a video text message. Okay. I would just pick up my iPhone and I'd just say, hey, Brian, just wanted to send you a quick message. Thank you very much for allowing me to preview your home yesterday. It was a pleasure to meet you. Totally excited about the opportunity to help you sell this home for top dollar. In the meantime, just want to let you know, I'm your neighbor. We went to school together. If I could help you out on anything, please just pick up the phone, call me, no appointment needed. I'm here for you. Done.
Gotcha. Ultimate contribution, right?
Yes. So here's the thing. If you heard the way that I just, rattled off what I would say in this message, it doesn't require a script. It's personal. That's what I want you to do is I want you to be you with people. Okay. Mm-hmm. Just because that's what's going to set you apart, because everybody else is all trying to use a script and a tactic and a strategy. And nowadays people can smell that from a mile away. They don't want to work with that kind of person. People are authentic people. So I would follow up with him, with that message right now. I guarantee you he's going to respond back. Okay. And then today's what? Tuesday. I'd probably, text him again on Thursday, say, hey, Brian, just, hopefully everything's going well for you. I was just wondering, are you doing an open house this weekend?
He is on Saturday.
Okay. So you already know he's doing an open house.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you could say, if you're available Saturday, hey, Brian, I know you're doing an open house on Saturday. Just wanted to check in, see if you have any questions or need help with anything before you hold the home open.
Okay. I can definitely do that.
So look, if you've watched the for sale by owner video and listings on demand,
yes.
Okay, I've given a lot of suggestions over there. Just pick and choose whatever you want to use. Okay, so look, we spend enough time talking about the preview appointments. Once you get the preview appointment, at the preview appointment, you want to build a strong connection with the people. You want to qualify the heck out of them, and you want to see if you can set up a legitimate appointment. And if you could, then you go on that appointment. And if you can't, then you got to further the relationship to get you to a real listing appointment. That's the case with those three people that you got going on right now. Okay, so now. What do I want you to do? Number one, I want you to totally have that FSBO script 100,000,000% memorized. Okay. Number two, I need you to memorize all objection handlers. Okay. Number three, I need you to, okay. Number three is, strategy sessions. Remember we talked about the strategy session, what I meant by that, or no?
Yeah, take my call and dissect it to figure out what I could have said or done differently.
Right. And Brian, anytime you do something like that and you want to run it by me, that would be great. Okay. And or running it through, some of the other members in the group, that would be awesome as well too. You never know, some people can, definitely, chime in and give you a different perspective and a point of view. So that's that. Now, also, what I want you to do is I want you to create what's called a win sheet. Win, W-I-N, like winning, because we're winners, right?
Win sheet?
Yeah, like a win sheet. Okay. Mm-hmm. So basically, this win sheet is going to be, it's not a place to where it's like you write down your victories. Yeah, I set an appointment, or, yeah, I took a listing. Or yeah, I feel good today, or anything like that. It's not about that. It's not what I mean. What I mean is, you're having a lot of conversations with a lot of people right now, and you're trying things for the first time with a lot of people. And a lot of times one thing works, but then again, we forget to use it again. So whatever you are doing or whatever you are saying that, works for you and gets you the appointment or gets you the listing or whatever, we need to take note of that, because that's what we want to repeat. Gotcha. Now, if we stay consistent in doing this for, let's say, the next, 20, 30 days, 100, 150 conversations into this, you would have 3 to 5 things on there that are going to become the 3 to 5 most dominant things that you use every single day to land you 1, 2, 3, 4 listings every single month.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's what I want you to do. Awesome. Any questions, comments, concerns? I think we covered a lot, but Anything
Yes, we
else?
certainly did. Where do I go to do the single property websites? You know the place off the top of your head?
Yeah, not off of the top of my head. Um,
Is that real estate specific? Like I
yeah,
can Google real
it's
estate.
it's 100% real estate specific. It's the one that I used last year, and I think it's called. I actually liked it a lot too. It's called Crib Flyer.
Crib Flyer. All right.
Okay, they raised the
Thanks.
price to $7 a month. Sorry, buddy.
No. All right. Excellent. And when I'm making these calls, would you recommend I leave a voicemail or hang up and dial the next one?
I usually only like to keep the voicemails to people that I'm following up with.
Okay. Where you've already had a discussion with them.
Yeah. Look, here's a couple reasons why we don't leave voicemails. Okay, and I know there's somebody out there that will disagree with me because it's worked for them. So there's an exception to the rule just about anywhere and everywhere with everyone. In keeping track of the numbers, what we've identified is that less than 1% of the people that you leave a voicemail message to actually check their voicemails.
So you're taking time to leave a message that's not going to yield any fruits or results.
And then even if more than 1% are listening to their voicemail, less than 1% of the people that listen to the voicemails are going to call you back. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Makes sense.
yeah, so I wouldn't. And then even the people that you follow up with, this could be a whole nother, conversation, is you always want to follow up with people in the format that they want to be followed up with. Like, for a guy like me, you don't want to call me. And if you do want to speak to me, send me a text message saying, "Hey, when can you talk?" See, that's
right.
Okay. Or my preferred method for communication all across channels is Facebook Messenger. So different people, different.
Okay.
Always find out how they want to be communicated with, and communicate with them just like that.
Gotcha. All right. And so otherwise, I'm just going to I've been dialing the same ones. If they don't answer the phone, I'm not leaving a message. Day after day, I'm just calling the same numbers, I guess, so they block my number or answer my call.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
That's how we do.
All right. I'm thinking maybe in a week or two, I'll have really worked the active FSBOs in my area pretty good. And then I'm going to subscribe to RedX for expired contact info and try to have a two-faceted approach.
Yeah, I like you. I like you, just selecting one thing as a primary to begin with, because that's what a lot of people do, Brian, is they begin and they like, well, I want to do the online marketing, and I want to do the for sale by owners, and I want to do the expireds. And it's like, if you only have, collectively 20 hours to work on that, then you're working 5 hours here, 5 hours there, 5 hours there. Where I say, what if we just focus 100% on one system right now, and then once we build that, we move on to the next one.
Okay. Give this all my focus. Got it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome, brother. Whatever you need, anytime you need it, hit me up. But thank you very much for, this was good today. We spent about, 15 minutes just talking about for sale by owners. So hopefully you got a lot of value from it.
No, this was good. This was really good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for watching this video and or listening to this podcast. Hopefully you got a lot of value. I bet your mind is spinning big time right now, and you're probably saying to yourself, hey, if Brian can do this, I can do this. I think I'm ready to do this. I definitely want to do this, and I definitely need to have a conversation with Chadi so I know what is the most effective and fastest way for me to work, whether it's for sell by owners, expireds, open house, farming, getting more repeat referral business, online marketing. How do I specifically generate leads every single day? Look, if you're in a place in your business where you're ready to make a commitment, you're ready to step up, you're ready to level up, you're ready to do whatever it takes to get appointments literally every single day, then your next step is to go to tlastrategycall.com. Book a time to speak to me one-on-one. We're going to get on the phone for about 45 minutes. I'm going to dive deep into what is going on in your business right now. What are your blind spots? What are your opportunities that you're not taking advantage of? What are the obstacles that are stopping you from literally having the kind of business that you dreamed about having when you first got your license? And then I'm going to give you the roadmap. The roadmap on how to take your business to the next level, how to increase whatever amount of appointments you're setting right now. How do you go on 1 to 2 more appointments every single week? I mean, if you're going on 4 to 8 extra appointments every single month, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to increase your production by at least 2 transactions a month. So if you're looking to add a minimum of 2 new deals to your current production in 2020, reach out. Let's have a conversation. Go to tlastrategycall.com and book a time to speak to me. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.